All right, so if you guys can join me, please, for the Scout Oath. Okay. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Join me for the Scout law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. So, sorry, I have to, when I'm on a Zoom, I have to close my eyes so that I don't get distracted. So, what we are going to talk about tonight for our hot topic is service, safety, and scouting. And so with that, there are actually documents on the Scout National website that I'm going to keep talking while I try to pull them up. So how about that? Because I did in fact have them pulled up and ready. And so we'll see if I can't screen share these. Let me get myself back here. And so what the documents cover is, one is a checklist to help you as far as planning your service project. Apparently video was the only problem. So, and it's just a nice reminder of things to think about as you plan your service projects for your pack or your den. So that way, because it's real easy sometimes to forget maybe the personal protective equipment, because Cub Scouts are little and they're cute, and we're not doing any service projects that are, none of us are manning a COVID vaccination site, but you still want to make sure that if you're going out to that school playground to maybe do a playground cleanup, that they have gloves on. Be they just the latex gloves or work gloves, so that way as they're picking stuff up, they're protected from anything, any of the germs and whatnot that might be on there. So the next page of this, fiddlesticks. Let me see if I can move this. Hang on, guys. I'm gonna pause for a second and see if that. Nope. Okay. Sorry. The bar that controls my Zoom is right over top of the tabs I need to get to. I'm just gonna see if I can move it. I can move it. All right. So this one is just a supplemental document, and what I really like about this particular one is the age-appropriate guidelines, okay? Because sometimes it seems silly what we can and cannot do. And this is just a nice visual reminder that what a lion or a tiger can do is not necessarily the same as what a Webelos can do, all right? And it just goes down through, and again, it seems kind of silly, but our lions and our tigers can't even, can't use rakes and hoes and shovels. I don't make the rules, I just follow the rules. So I can't tell you what the logic behind that is, but I'm sure there is one. We just have to follow the rules. So there you go. Even here with painting, wolves and bears can use paint brushes, but they cannot use paint rollers. So this just kind of helps to guide you to stay within the realms of the Guide to Safe Scouting and what the Cub Scouts are able to do, okay? If you have any questions on it, I just pulled these from the national website. You can go on and just search up, the Safe Project tool, and pick up either one of these documents to help you with planning any service projects. Okay. So where's the stop? Stop, there we go. So any questions as far as those documents go? They are relatively new. I will tell you, I have not actually seen them until today. So if they're new to you too, we're all in the same boat. So for our safety moment, I really like this one, being as we're looking at Cub Scouts being at camp next month. And so this one is about the sun and being safe in the sun. So it's really amazing. We get to live here and we have such a beautiful camp that we get to go to, and such long, fantastic summer days to enjoy. And so just a few things to keep in mind is, because Cub Scouts, Scouts BSA, they do the same thing. Keeping themselves safe from the sun, it's not always high on their priority list. So if you guys are doing any trips out, just make sure that they understand, if you're going to head up to Eklutna Lake and do some hiking up there, or if you're down on the peninsula and you're going to go hike one of the trails that's up in the mountains, the higher you get, the closer you are to the sun. And so you will burn faster up there than you will down here at sea level. So they need to make sure that they plan for that. For those camp days when you're going to be down at waterfront, out in the canoes, make sure that the kids have their waterproof SPF stuff that I can't think of the name of off the top of my head, because that's the kind of day I've had, because the reflection from the water will get them. And unfortunately, our camp is open during the hours of 10 to 4, which is when the sun is at its highest. And so making sure that they have their hats, they have the tips of their ears covered in SPF, make sure their arms are covered. And the one that they never want to do, drink lots of water. Okay. So this is just a reminder that, our days are beautiful, and even when they're not warm, we can still get burnt pretty good. And we want to try and keep those little cubbies safe at camp and out on all of our awesome summer activities. So that is our safety moment for this month. All right. And so the main topic of this roundtable is summertime activities. And so we're going to cross our fingers, because there is a video that I will play for you, and then we will get into the discussion part, because I really like some of the things that come up in this video, because personally, they were ones that I hadn't thought of or hadn't considered. And so, which is why I'm going to go ahead and play it for you. If I watched it and was like, we can cover that, or I'll remember to bring that up, I wouldn't. So let's all hope that my screen share with this video works.
One of my favorite cartoons that we would watch as a family was Phineas and Ferb. The premise of the show was two brothers who had these amazing adventures during their summer break. Each day, to start the story, Phineas would turn to Ferb and say, "I know what we're going to do today." What would follow is the construction of some fantastic device, an amazing adventure that somehow also stopped an evil doctor's scheme with their help of their secret agent pet platypus. By the end of the show, the construction would get destroyed just before their sister could get them in trouble. All this before dinner. So, in the spirit of Phineas and Ferb, a cartoon based on summer vacation, what are you going to do this summer? That is our topic for this month's Roundtable, summertime activities. Welcome to Roundtable. If this was an episode of Phineas and Ferb, during the summer, we may paint a continent, discover something that doesn't exist, or give a monkey a shower. But unfortunately, we can't really do those things. We know that most Cub Scout packs slow down during the summer. Some even stop meeting completely. This brings us to the first challenge of summertime for Cub Scouting. How often should you meet? Should we meet at all? And what activities would you do? The first thing to keep in mind when planning summer activities is that your Cub Scouts just completed their rank and are now officially the next rank. The issue is that if they start working on their required adventures during the summer, when the fall comes and new Cub Scouts join, those new Cub Scouts will be, behind, making planning den meetings difficult. Doing just one summer activity really helps families connect. A simple summertime pack schedule helps recharge your pack leadership, increases parent involvement, increases the number of families that join, and keep more families in your pack. Our first tip for summertime activities is to forget about working on requirements and advancement. Avoid required adventures and look to do activities that focus on building your pack community. As Cub Master, our pack would have 3 activities during the summer. It wasn't always one activity a month, but we tried to spread it out. One of these summer activities was our big annual trip. Planning for the annual trip started during the spring. Our local council had a fundraiser in the spring which was selling discount cards. Before we started selling, at a parent meeting, we would identify where we wanted to go for the big annual trip. Now, what kind of trip are we talking about? Well, for us, it was simply just a day trip. So consider what kind of local attractions do you have within 2 or 3 hour drive. You may have a zoo, an aquarium, a national park, or a monument. You may even have a theme park. Remember, most places you consider will have group discounts, and some even have special scout discounts and/or programs. Once the location was decided, someone did the research on the costs. Now, when calculating cost, we would figure how much a youth ticket and one adult ticket would be. We then calculated how many discount cards a Cub Scout would need to sell for the commission to pay for one youth and one adult ticket. This became everyone's goal. If someone didn't make the goal, they could still attend the trip, they just had to pay the difference. We also extended any group discounts to other members of the family, so this truly became a family experience. Now, the annual pack trip became the highlight of our program year, and families enjoyed being able to do it as a family. As part of our discount card sales, our Cub Scouts could also earn their way to day camp or resident camp. This was part of the local council recognition plan. So many of our Cub Scouts earned not only a cool summer trip with the pack, they also earned a week of Cub Scout day camp. Now, this leads me to one of the most obvious summertime activities, and that is Cub Scout day camp. Day camp is traditionally an event that runs during the day. It could be a day-long camp or cover 4 or 5 days. Some areas have twilight camps that, instead of running in the morning to early afternoon, they run from the early afternoon to early evening. Someone at Roundtable will have information about your local day camp opportunities, or contact your local council office or district executive. Another summertime activity your pack should plan is your annual program planning conference. Now, we already covered this subject in a previous Roundtable, and as a reminder, there's also the online training module on annual program planning conference found at my.scouting.org. What I want to emphasize about the annual program planning conference is that this too could become a fun pack activity. Holding it at a park, having a cookout, or even hiring some entertainment can turn your program planning conference into an annual program planning party. One last example of a summertime pack activity is called Back to the Pack. This is a great way to kickstart the new program year. The purpose of this event is to bring everyone back from the summer just before school starts and before any new families join. A Back to the Pack event can be as informal or formal as you like. It can be a formal pack meeting or it can be a fun day at the park. The key step is to contact each family in the pack and invite them to the event. For many families, this simple phone call and invitation is all they need to keep them involved. During the event, you, along with other leaders of the pack, can start looking at which parents who are in the pack have the right skill sets to serve as leaders. Remember that returning parents are now much more likely to agree to serve in a leadership position if asked. This leads to a very strategic method that strong packs do during the summer, and that is identifying pack resources. During the summer, the Cub Master and Pack Committee Chair work together to discuss current pack leadership and what vacancies the pack may have for the upcoming year. These events provide a more casual opportunity to have conversations with parents and get to know them, and in doing so, you understand their skill sets and can ask them to serve in a position that hits on their strengths. A tip from the experts: people are more likely to say yes to people whom they have a relationship with. These summertime activities are one more opportunity for you to build stronger relationships with each family, and in doing so, you're increasing the chances of someone saying yes when you ask them for help or to serve in a leadership position. All right, now it's your turn. For the remainder of the time, use these questions to spark a conversation about summertime activities. What summer activities does your pack do? Which ones are your favorite and why? Do you recruit leaders during the summer? If so, how do you do it? Where are some local attractions that make a great day trip for a pack? All right, look forward to these discussions, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
All right. So with that one, okay, the reason I really wanted to remember to play it, and one of the things I really liked about it, is that like, I know the pack that my boys were in, we did, as a pack, we actually did 6 events over the summer in June, July, and August. One on a weeknight, because some people were out fishing and doing camping and whatnots on the weekend and couldn't make weekend events. And we also did one weekend event because there were people that, because of their job, they couldn't make an evening activity. So we planned 6. But I have to admit, I really liked the idea of the Back to the Pack party. That is not something that we ever thought about doing. We always just planned our August pack meeting to get the kids ready for, recruitment and whatnot. That was it. And so I just thought that the Back to the Pack party was kind of a neat idea. It sounded like a lot of fun to me. So I definitely wanted to play the video. And so, do you guys know, do your units have their annual planning meeting on the books? Like, I know there was one of our J-Bear packs, I think they had their annual planning meeting, my goodness, in like April. They were way ahead of the game. I know usually, sometime in the second half of May into June is a really great time to get that annual planning meeting on the books, so that way your pack calendar is done, which makes it easier then for your den leaders to put their den calendars together, so that when recruitment comes, you guys already have a really good idea of what the school, what the year. Thank you, 110. You have a good idea of what the school year is going to look like, and new parents have an idea of what the time commitment is going to look like. So this is the stage where I would ask you to please unmute yourselves, because now I feel like I'm just talking into the ether, and that is not my favorite part of Zoom Roundtable. So I'll close the chat. Thank you. Do you guys have your annual planning meetings on the books? Even if you don't unmute yourself, if you go down to the bottom and give me like a thumbs up or a green check mark or something.
I don't believe we do.
You don't? Okay. Um, so Tanya, do you know, have you participated in an annual planning meeting with your pack in the past?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So, okay, so then it is something that you guys know about and know needs to be done.
We potentially might have it planned, but I got put in the committee chair role like 2 weeks ago.
Ah, okay.
Because our committee chairperson finally said, he gave us like over a year and a half's warning, and finally he was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, no, I understand being in that position. So, oh, it's 7 o'clock. Please ignore my clock. So, and then, yeah, well then, Brianna and Rebecca, you guys you're done. So good job on that. So when you guys, then have you guys done your summertime pack planning to work toward the summertime pack award potentially, which would be that one activity in June, July, and August? You have to have 50% of the pack participate in order for it to count toward the summertime pack award. Sorry guys, sometimes the music lasts longer than others.
We do have events
Okay.
planned for June, July, and August. I'm going downstairs to get my calendar.
Excellent.
But my video is not working on my computer, so that's why I'm only on audio.
That's okay. Yeah, and so that's like one of the summertime events that our kids always really liked was just a night of camp games. And their very favorite camp game of all was the donut on the string. And I have seen them eat powdered sugar donuts out of the dirt on more occasions than I like to admit, because if they took a huge bite of their donut first, and then the tiny little piece would fall into the ground, and you can't use your hands, and so they would be down with their chin in the dirt, gnawing on the donut, trying to be the first one done. So another one that they liked was that we would take a balloon and blow it up and then tie it on a string and then tie that string to their ankle. And so they had to try and pop each other's balloons while protecting their own balloon without their hands. So that is a lot of laughing and howling fun. So that was one, and it was one of those events that nobody was earning anything other than, getting together and having fun with their friends. So, Brianna, have you found your calendar?
Yes.
Okay, what kind of stuff do you guys have on for your summer calendar?
We have our Hal Hopkins service project in June.
Okay.
And then in July, we have Thunderbird Falls hike.
Nice.
And then in August, we have our pack fishing.
Oh, fun. So where do you guys take your pack fishing?
Good question. I'm still learning.
Okay.
Rebecca might know.
I was going to say, does anybody have any good fishing places to give 110 a new idea? So,
they went ice fishing, but I didn't make it out there with my baby. My husband took my son.
Sorry, guys. I am at my troop meeting, so
we're going to pull double duty.
So the pack has events planned, but then we also have individuals. Since I am the AOL den leader and Weeblo den leader, we actually have events. Normally when it comes to fishing, we try to stay on post because we are a post pack.
Mm-hmm.
So like next weekend, we are camping out at Upper Otter Lake. We went ice fishing at Green Green Lake here on post. We also have done 6 Mile.
Mhm.
So we try to stay local, um, but we have branched out to a couple places downtown,
Okay.
in South Anchorage. So like, what is it? Next weekend, we also have our crossover ceremony that's being done at Reflections. We're
Mhm.
doing a hike along with the crossover ceremony.
Nice.
So
All right.
my
So,
husband's the fisherman, so we go pretty much where he says, hey, let's go check this place out. And this has lots of good places for, especially the younger scouts. Obviously the bigger kids know where not to be, and to me, we just have to safety wise for everyone. We need to make sure there's enough of a platform or a shore for them to stand on.
mhm.
So
Yeah, that's perfect. So, Tanya, how about down there with Pac 10? Do you guys have any summer activities planned?
We don't have any right now. I want to say the person who kind of would bring up ideas is the committee chair, who's not here anymore. But I was thinking that for our particular pack,
Mhm.
we've done so little during this pandemic. I feel like it would almost be fun to do a back to the pack party at the beginning of summer,
Yeah.
to prefer to and find a way to incorporate some of the things that some of our scouts need to do to rank up, because they
Mhm.
didn't have that option this year.
Yeah. No, that would be perfect. With you guys not having, with your meeting opportunities having been limited during this time, doing a back to the pack at the beginning of summer would be perfect. So, and that's where, with this summer, because summertime for Cub Scouts, we all, through the school year, we all work really hard to try and make sure, before the school year ends, the kids have earned their rank and so on. But summer has always been a sort of like a buffer time that if somebody needed a little extra time, they can get it done before, they actually start
No, I'm getting
first
your
day of
brother.
their
Get in the
next
back.
year. What was that, Tanya?
Oh, sorry. I
It's
didn't
okay.
mean to interrupt. I was telling my child to get in the car.
Oh, but this year, especially because of units not having meeting spaces, because of, winter being dark and cold early, this summer especially is a great time to help those kids not miss out on this rank. And so, if you haven't been able to meet, getting your den together and helping those kids get it done so that they do earn all of those ranks. Okay. And they don't end up missing this year, for circumstances that are definitely far out of the control of a bunch of elementary school kids. So don't let this opportunity pass them by. Help your kids the best you can so that they can keep advancing, they can keep that excitement, and it can build into next school year, where really deep in my heart, I really feel that our Cub Scout packs are going to have an amazing recruitment this fall. Even this summer, I would highly encourage any of those summer activities. Have kids invite their friends, have them in public places so that people who aren't part of the pack can see you having fun, because people are desperate for those activities. My older son plays Little League, and our Little League over in Palmer has almost 700 kids registered this year. And in years past, it has been significantly less than that. They have had to add teams to every single level. They have had to find new sponsors to sponsor and help pay for these teams, because people are looking for activities. You know, I'm in a Facebook group for the Valley of, you know, like a who to use. And there are people on there every single day, multiple times a day. Where are the camps? I need to get my kids out. You know, what sports are still having signups? People are looking for something to do with their kids. And so being able to get our you know, get our units out there, get our packs, you know, out into visible situations, use it to every single advantage, and encourage those kids to bring their friends, and use this summer to help you build into fall for just an amazing recruiting season, because people want it. Okay. So don't just hide in, you know, don't hide out in a little hole. Share the joy. Get it out there. All right. So along those lines, National Council, their big summer push this year is the Summer of Service. And so with that, they are asking everyone to work as an individual, work as a den, work as a pack, you know, work as a district and a council to really get out and give meaningful service. So let's see if this will work one more time for me. And so if you go onto the national website, I just used the search bar for Summer of Service, and it brought me to this lovely page. And they have it broken down into these 4 categories. Obviously, you know, there are more categories than that. But what's really neat is that if you have, say, neighbors in need, if you click on it, it then takes you to another page with a lot of ideas of how you can do that. So some of them are more Cub Scout appropriate. Some of them are more Scouts BSA appropriate. But it gives you it just kind of gives you an idea of how to get your juices flowing to come up with projects. Okay. And so, it's just another way of fulfilling our Scout oath, helping our kids to live the Scout law and get our units out into the public eye for people to be able to see that, you know, Scouts is alive and well, and we still want to help our communities. We still want to, you know, we still want to be the good that we want in the world. And then from there, for your kids that participate, there is a certificate you can print. They have various patches, from, you know, button hangers to the circles to go around the World Crest. You can see, you know, the guidelines that we already looked at. But then they also want to make sure that you get on and report, okay? So that you can tell National, like, hey, this is what we did. You know, because by sharing our information with National, it helps them then to be able to say to the public, we, you know, as a nationwide organization, we're able to complete all of these things to help our communities. You know, we're not just in our tents in the woods building fires. We're actually, you know, we're out there doing things and helping people. Sorry, my dog has decided to attack. Take it down. Get down. Go, dog, go. So this is just, you know, another way of getting out there and doing something meaningful and having fun with our, you know, with our kids. So hang on, go. You have to go, dog. No, I know Sorry. Apparently, I used up all of the time he had for me to ignore him. So, so any thoughts or ideas on the summer of service? Okay. All right. So finally, because we are still in recharter season, we have one pack who was the very first unit between Scouts, between the Cub Scouts and Scouts BSA to get their charter turned in. And so yay to pack 1206 down in Craig, because they got done first. And I am so excited to have somebody that got it in before the deadline. So conversely, we also have 22 packs who have not even logged into the system yet. And so as a reminder, if you are the committee chair or Cub Master, or you are good friends with them, a reminder email will be going out and phone calls will be going out, because the system is open until May 10th. And then after that, it's going to become significantly more difficult to get your recharter done. So it's one of those things. Okay, so Brianna, I am happy to help you with that. Okay,
Okay.
we can set up a time. I'm happy to help, either over the phone, or I'm happy to come down and meet with you in person and try and get that worked out. So because once you can get into the system,
we'll have a help
it's
Saturday that you can.
We do. So, yeah. So we do have we do have some help nights coming up, but I'm also happy to come and help you, give you with some one-on-one if you need it. So I'll be reminding you guys of those dates here in just a minute. I guess I have a new finally. The other thing is that with it being the end of the school year and the kids crossing over and whatnot, don't forget to get on to Award Central on the national page to look at those Den Leader Training Awards and the Cub Master Awards, because your den leaders work really hard during the year to make sure that their den has a lot of fun and enjoys themselves. And so don't let them go unrecognized, because as we all know, being a volunteer can sometimes be a thankless job. And so make sure that you, as part of the unit, are recognizing those leaders and thanking them for the time, energy, and money that they have spent giving these kids a really great program. Okay. So finally, news you can use. We have 3 recharter help nights coming. Okay, summer nights, summer days. This Saturday, the 8th, Derek is going to be at the council office at 10 in the morning to be there to give anybody a hand with their recharters. So if you're having problems logging into the system, or if you're getting into the system and it just doesn't make any sense, or you're not sure what to do, or you've gotten to that magical place where internet rechartering is saying that you need X number of leaders and X number of, hey, you stop talking back, X number of parents and whatnot, and you just don't know how to reconcile that whole thing, Stop it. Derek will be there to give you a hand. I had planned on being there. Instead, I will be in Homer watching high school baseball. So I unfortunately won't make this one. So, then the next one will be Thursday, May 13th. That one's going to be via Zoom. So that whether you're down in Southeast or down on the peninsula or here in the Valley or Anchorage, you can get on Zoom and get your questions answered, so that we can make sure everybody is successful in getting those completed and turned in by the deadline. So then this Saturday, May 8th, the Council Pinewood Derby was scheduled. It has been canceled because they only had two registrants. So because of that, they had to cancel it, which is sad, but it is what it is. Stop. Next, and this one was a surprise to me, popcorn show and sell orders are due July 25th. Okay. Typically they are not due until August. This year they are going to be due there at the end of July. So make sure that as you are doing that summer, when you're doing your annual planning, that you figure that in so that your popcorn kernel is prepared and has that show and sell order in time, so that you guys have what you need to fundraise for the kids. There is going to be, you need to stop. There's going to be a Cub Scout recruitment powwow August 7th. And with that, we will need someone from each of the units to come so that way we can have everything together for you and everybody is well prepared to have a good recruitment at the beginning of the school year. So, and just a reminder that if you are not scheduled for summer camp, Derek, there are still summer camp spots available, I would wager. And for the units down in Southeast, traveling day camp is still open for registration. So get, definitely make sure your families know so that if they want to, so if your kids want to participate, they can, and they can have a wonderful day with Derek's smiling face, traveling to Mars. So, Derek, any other news they can use that I missed?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay.
I guess the one other piece I might add to that is as you're planning your guys' calendar for the coming year, make sure that you put in a fun rocket into scouting event, because we have rockets at the council that are for new members of new youth coming into scouting. So make sure that sometime in September you get that on your calendar. So as you're starting to plan out that year, not really a news a set event because it's set by you, but definitely something to get out there.
All right. Okay. So for our closing, because I happen to really like music and whatnot, but I couldn't find a song this time. But I found one of my favorite poems, and if my dog will stop barking at me, you guys will hopefully get to hear it. So let me see if I can stop it. Get this screen share to work. And I expanded it too soon. There we go. All right. That's the one I want. Okay.
Listen to the mussets. Listen to the mustn'ts, child. Listen to the don'ts. Listen to the shouldn'ts, the impossibles, the won'ts. Listen to the never-haves. Then listen close to me. Anything can happen, child. Anything can be.
Okay. So I chose that because Shel Silverstein is one of my favorite poets. I don't particularly like poetry as a general rule, but I really enjoy Shel Silverstein. And he is one of the books that I read to my kids when they were small because his imagery is so amazing. And with the listen to the mustn'ts, you know, our kids hear so often about the things they can't do, the things they shouldn't do, the things that are outside of their abilities, you know, the dreams that they shouldn't have, to bring things back into, you know, the realm of possibility and reality. And that's where we really come in and help remind the kids that they can do anything, they can be anything. You know, with the things they get to do from Cub Scouts through Scouts BSA, it's really their opportunity to reach out there and try the things that they may have never tried before, or the things that they never thought they could do, and really help them find that passion and that love in life that without us, they might never have. And so that is where I want you guys to always remember that we're there to fight the mustn'ts, and we're there to fight the couldn't haves, because we want to make sure that our kids always know that they can dream and they can reach and they can do. And that is my closing thoughts for you tonight. So if you guys need to log off, have a wonderful night, and we will be meeting in June. I'm going to go ahead and continue roundtable through June and July this year, to help, you know, to help support you guys in any way that I need to have a great summer and really get us all prepared and in a great mindset to have a strong beginning to next school year. So I will be chatting with Derek about where that's going to happen, so that I can see you guys in real life and in person, and you don't have to listen to my clock, and you don't have to listen to my dog, and we can have a much freer, easier exchange of ideas in person than we do on Zoom. Because as much as I appreciate this platform and what it has allowed us to do this year, I also understand its limitations, and how roundtable is not quite like a real, you know, an in-person roundtable. So I will see you guys June 2nd at some location that we will announce. Okay, so if you need to go, good night and goodbye. If you want to stay and chat, I am absolutely happy to do that too. So have a great night, guys.
Okay, so my main question for the recharter was, do you have to turn in, like, you turn in all the applications first and then you can do everything online? Is that how that works?
So if you have paper applications, you can still do your recharter online. You'll have to add those kids or adults into the internet recharter system and then take